I asked Candace Rodarty to come on with me today. Candace and I, what did we meet? Like in 2012, you think? Is that probably?
That sounds about right. That sounds about right.
Yeah. Well, Candace and I have been in business together since 2012. And she contacted me. She used to live in Texas, close to where I lived. She deserted us and moved away. And I'll let her tell you about that. But anyway, we've kind of like had a lot of experiences together. And I'm going to let her share a little bit about that too, because I want you to hear her story. And Candace is a great businesswoman. She works with entrepreneurs, solopreneurs. She's just has a wealth of knowledge, and she is like a business type coach, right? You have a podcast, you have just all kinds of stuff going on.
Yep.
But
I'm always busy.
Always busy, yes. And and thanks to the wonderful world of internet, you can be at home and have all kinds of businesses these days, and that's the beauty of it. So Candace got in touch with me back in July, and she said, Joy, I've been using something here lately, and I'll let her tell the story of how it's helping her. But she said, I'm really seeing some help just with my own symptoms and issues that I have. And she said, I really think you should take a look at it. So she sent me the link and all this and that, and I kind of did a little research and checked things out. Because I will honestly say I don't have like blatant symptoms. Like I don't live with chronic pain. I don't have any diagnosis of anything at this point in my life. I'm just kind of floating through life here. But when I started looking at what we're going to share with you guys today, my mind just kind of exploded with, oh my gosh, it could help this person, that person, this person. And outside of my own needs, I could see how it could benefit and impact other people's lives and what they deal with on a daily basis, with their health concerns. So Candace, let's kind of go back to the beginning. You and I met in 2012, and then after a few years of knowing each other, sadly, I went to a doctor's appointment with you one day, and you came out of the room. I don't want to cry, but we were both kind of like stunned. So you want to kind of pick up the story there?
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that story, and oh my God, I'm choking up. I was expecting to choke up.
I know.
A lot of people don't know this story, but back in 2014, I found a lump in my breast, and I had to go through a whole bunch of rigmarole in order to get a mammogram scheduled. And the first appointment for the mammogram was a complete and utter disaster. They sent me home, right? And so Joy said, I'm going to go with you tomorrow. They rescheduled me for the following day, but Joy said, I'm going to go with you tomorrow. So she shows up at the hospital, and she's sitting in the waiting room. And after the mammogram was over, the radiologist said, we need to schedule a biopsy with you immediately. And so they got me on the schedule for like an hour and a half or 2 hours later. And I come out of the room, and I'm like trying to hold it together. And then I saw Joy, and I just broke down in tears. Mm-hmm. And Joy ran over to me, and she held me as I cried, because at that point I had no idea what was going to happen. All I knew is, oops, you need to have a biopsy ASAP, right? And that, whenever you hear something like that, it's not good news, right? And so Joy and I went to lunch, and then we went back to the hospital, and they did the biopsy, and then I waited. And it turned out that I had a apricot-sized nodule in my breast, cancerous, obviously. And I went through the whole a year of cancer treatment, and then I was told it had metastasized to my lungs. And Joy was there for that entire thing. I mean, Joy and I were not only business partners, because I call Joy my business partner. We weren't only business partners, but we were the best of friends. And I still consider her one of my lifelong BFFs, right? So isn't that what BFF means? So Joy and I have a history together. And can I be honest with you and tell you that when I found out about these super patches, I kind of didn't want to tell Joy about them, because I didn't want people to say, oh God, here comes Candace and Joy again. Now what are they doing?
I'm glad you changed your mind.
I changed my mind. It was actually a fluke. The only reason I contacted you is because I was on a call and there was somebody in the room and I was like, I have to tell Joy about this.
Well, thank you.
And then we ended up talking for about 2 hours,
Yeah.
typing back and forth to each other for about 2 hours. And then the next morning I saw that you had come on board the company and I was like, oh, we're going to have so much fun.
Yeah.
And we are having fun, aren't we?
We are.
We are. So
that kind of gives you guys an idea of what Candace has dealt with, since about 2014, and here we are 2023, and thankfully she's sitting right there and just as great as she's always been, and holding strong. So, but take us back to when you actually found out about the patches and how you decided to incorporate them in, what was going on with you.
So I found out about them from one of my coaching clients, and she said that she had joined this company, and I got a little curious because I know the guy who's running field operations for the company, and so I was really curious. I really like the guy who's running field operations, so I was really curious about what they were doing, why she joined the company, and what he was doing. So I called him. I literally picked up the phone and I called him and I said, dude, tell me about these patches. And he told me the story about how he had been introduced to them and how they work. So basically what he told me, and this is what I tell people all the time, he said, if you close your eyes and you put out your hand and somebody puts a pen in your hand, you know it's a pen because your skin can tell it's a pen.
Right.
And I was like, well, yeah, I totally get that because I have neuropathy. And neuropathy is when your nervous system isn't communicating correctly with your brain. So what happens is with neuropathy is the message that your fingers and toes is sending to your brain is crossed.
Yeah.
Right? It's mixed up. So I understood put a pen in my hand and your skin knows because I understand the skin to brain connection because I live it every day. But I was still skeptical because
Sure.
I'm always skeptical about
absolutely
new things. And this is a new technology. It is a technology based on neuroscience. It was developed by a neuroscientist over the course of 10 or 12 years. His mom has MS, and he wanted to develop something to help her.
Right.
So the whole premise of this company is heart-based. It's based on a son's love for his mother.
Yeah.
Which you hear that story and you're like, okay. So I ordered what's called the Freedom Patch, and the Freedom Patch is for pain. Well, I have osteopenia from 10 years of chemo treatment, or 9.5 years of chemo. So the osteopenia presents itself in my hip. It's not every day, but I get sharp pains in my hip. And so I had a sharp pain in my hip. I said, this is a perfect opportunity to test out this Freedom Patch. Let's see what happens. So I peeled it and stuck it to my hip. And I just said, okay, let's see what happens. I swear to God, I am not kidding you. Seconds later, within seconds, not a minute, not 10 minutes, seconds later, the pain in my hip was gone.
Incredible.
So I sent a text message to my friend, and I said, dude, are you sure this isn't psychosomatic? I mean, it worked in seconds. And he goes, nope, it really works. Yep. And so I percolated on it for a couple of days, and then I said I'm in, and I signed up as an associate. And I told so many people about how well these patches worked that before my welcome kit arrived in the mail, I had already rank advanced.
Oh, fun.
Because I kept telling people about how awesome these patches were, and then they would sign up, right? Because I was telling them true stories about the results that I got.
Sure.
So, yeah, and then I was like, okay, I'm totally in now. I was kind of in, but now I'm all in.
Right.
And then eventually I told Joy.
Yeah. But so you mentioned that you were a skeptic.
Yeah.
And any of us that have ever looked at this little 1.5 by 1.5 inch patch is a skeptic. I mean, we've all gone, yeah, right. How in the world does this little like stick-on thing that looks not much different than a little Band-Aid package type deal, packet deal, yeah. How does this happen? So, kind of speak to the skeptic. I mean, I was one, you were one. We talk to them every day, which is understandable. I mean, who wouldn't be?
It is unbelievable, and until you try it,
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to wrap your head around. And some of the patches, I mean, there's 11 different patches and they all do different things, and some of the patches you don't really see the results. However, I got this. I wish I thought about having this out earlier. There is something called hand grip strength, and the weaker your hands are, the more likely you are to die early. So if you have really strong hands, your life expectancy is longer. And seriously, one of the ways that you can prove that this technology works is that you can test hand grip strength. So this little dynamometer tests your hand grip strength, and I'm already wearing the patch that it tests, so I'm not going to be able to give you the results.
Right.
But you can literally increase your hand grip strength by pounds. Whenever I use it, I increase by 3 or 4 pounds, but I've heard of other people increasing their hand grip strength by 10 or 15 pounds just by putting a patch on. And so that is how you can prove it immediately. Yeah. But, I was talking to a skeptic on Saturday, and he goes, I'm an engineer. As an engineer, I can't wrap my head around what you're telling me with neuroscience. And I said, well, your body works like a machine, right? Input and output. Yeah. And then I told him about the pen. I said, put your hand out. I put this pen in your hand. Your eyes are closed. You know it's a pen. Your skin knows. And so the other thing that is really important is a couple of dudes actually got the Nobel Prize for Science and Medicine about 2 years ago for finding the T receptors in your skin that actually receive the messages that get sent to the brain. So this neuroscience that we're talking about has been proven, and it is Nobel Prize winning research, not by our neuroscientists, but parallel research.
Yeah.
So this is real. It's real.
Real, yeah. There are scientific studies that back it. I know we have access to those for anyone that wants to read those. If you like reading a lot of boring medical jargon, you're welcome to. But yes. So, and I kind of, when I found out about the skin, nervous system communication thing, it kind of made sense to me, because so many people these days wear not a medical, but some kind of a device, whether it's like an Apple Watch or a Fitbit tracker, or I wear this ring that is it's a Aura ring, and just by wearing this little tiny ring, it tracks my heart rate, how many steps I take, how I sleep, my deep sleep, light sleep, REM sleep. I get tons of information just by wearing this ring that's touching my skin, but giving me feedback all day long. I can open my app, look at my app, and see based on this skin touch. And so I knew the skin, of course, we all know it's a great communicator. If you walk up to something hot, to back away. Your skin immediately sends that signal to your brain. Don't touch that. It's going to hurt you. If you're cold, your body shivers. Your skin's communicating, and it's to your body. You need to warm up, so shiver to warm up. So there's that constant communication going on. So once I started kind of connecting all these dots, I was like, okay, it makes sense that these patches are communicating. Whether, like you said, with a freedom patch, maybe you feel it immediately if you're dealing with a pain symptom at the moment. Or if it's just balance and stability or strength, you might not put it on and go, oh man, I'm just like superwoman now. It's not like that in a lot of ways, but you know that it's going to work and it's doing its job. It's kind of the same thing. You take your vitamin C or your vitamin, whatever you like to take, you don't immediately take it and go, oh, well, I'm a lot healthier now. But it's in there doing its job, and so yeah, that's kind of the way I think about it too. And, I will say, I had kind of made a promise to myself, years and years ago that I would never be involved in a company like a health and wellness company that had ingredients. I never wanted to hand somebody a bottle of something, a supplement or whatever, say, swallow this, drink this, rub this, do this. And, over time, it's going to make you feel better, or it's going to, quote unquote, cure you, or whatever. It's going to help you. I don't like ingredients because you never know what somebody's allergic to. To me, you're opening up a can of worms because people have so many sensitivities going on these days. And it's like, I didn't want to be that level of involvement in somebody's health journey. So there's a lot of people out there that are, they're trained, and people have their doctors, they have their other consultants that they work with, maybe holistic doctors and whatever. So I'm like, great, more power to them. That's for them. I really did not want to be involved with a company that had ingredients. So, when you told me about the patches, and I started realizing, okay, there's no ingredients in this patch. There's not going to be an allergic reaction. There's no dyes that's going to send somebody.
And they're FDA registered, so they do what they say they're going to do.
Exactly. Yeah. There's the FDA registered, and there's no chemicals, there's no drugs, and it's safe for children, maybe 5 and up. You don't put it on toddlers and babies. There's just, I wouldn't do that. But knowing that people more than likely are not going to get any kind of negative interaction. It's not going to even impact maybe any medication they're on or counter indication of anything. So that was a huge deal to me because I was very relieved. It's like, this isn't soaking in some kind of a ingredient into your body. This is a communication tool. So
yeah. We should clarify that it's a 95% success rate. So there are a few people who it might not work on. It's not a 100%. Everybody's going to feel a difference. I always want to clarify that because I don't want to come off as sounding like, oh, this is too good to be true. Because if I said everybody feels better, like you said, I sell somebody something that is going to hurt them.
Right.
Not that these would ever hurt you, but I don't want to make a promise that might not be true.
Exactly. And, the point is, too, you won't know until you try it. What if it relieved your pain and you could take the walk you want to take or play with your grandkids or go do an activity or something like that, and not have to be like, oh, somebody's got to help me up or get me out of the car or,
Oh, geez, I should tell you that story. But Jackie just asked why it wouldn't work. And I don't know the answer to that because I'm not a neuroscientist. But, and
I wouldn't say that even that it wouldn't work. I think a lot of times there's stuff going on that we don't understand. It takes time sometimes to untangle what's been happening in our bodies.
Yeah, the neural net. We have a neural net, and when you say net is a lot of different strings, right?
Yeah.
And strings, I don't know if you've ever crocheted or knitted, but holy moly,
yeah,
string can get tangled. Yeah. So why does your neural net get tangled? So it might just take a little longer to unravel it.
Signals get, and they didn't happen overnight, and sometimes they're not going to fix themselves overnight, or you're not the first minute you put that patch on. We do see a lot of great immediate, just like this hand strength thing that you talked about. We could see improvements in that right away using 1 or 2 of our patches that are good with strength and energy and stuff. But even if it's just a very slight thing, it's like, okay, let's give it some time. Give it 30 days. Give it 60 days. Yeah. So, to me, it's a minimal investment in someone's life and the quality of their life. Yeah. We have patches, and I think one of the big patches today even is what we call Jay, the founder and inventor of this. It's called the Flow Patch, about managing our. Yeah, I've got mine on too. It's on my hip. But yeah,
the patches come in a 4-pack to sample. They're $15, or a 28-pack for $60. and you can get a 25% discount on your first purchase.
Exactly.
I answered.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank
You're talking, you're not answering questions.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm glad I'm kind of looking down. Hi, Karen. And, but yeah, clearer thinking, cognition, brain fog, all that kind of stuff. A lot of people deal with, you know, pain. Yeah, a lot of people have pain, but sometimes these are just issues people don't want to talk about. Oh man, I'm not quite as sharp as I was, you know,
Mhm.
back. I'm kind of worried. They don't really want to talk about it or bring a lot of attention to it.
I've been going through chemo for 9.5 years.
Yeah.
That thing that they call chemo brain is real. And Phil just sort of gets foggy and it sort of just clears it up. Just clears it.
Well, good. I'm so glad you're getting that. And I did hear Jay say on a video that if you wear the flow patch, if you're in your maybe 40s or 50s and you wear the flow patch and you're at this point in life, you don't have any, you know, like Alzheimer type symptoms, that type of thing. He said that he will guarantee, and he made the statement, I would be willing to go to jail for this, saying this, because it's true. He's like, even if somebody says, you know, he's like, you will not get that disease if you wear the flow patch. He said it will keep your cognitive function, you know, functioning. So to me, to make a statement and be that bold about it, say, I'm willing, you can haul me away in handcuffs, but I still will stick to my story. I will not reverse that. That said a lot to me. So, you know, I think all of us maybe have family members or people we love that we've seen go through that horrible stage of life. So, you know, coming up this next generation, we hope to fight stuff like that and figure out things. And I know there's a lot of people.
I have a friend who's a neurologist, and I showed her these patches, and she was very excited about them because she doesn't want to prescribe gabapentin to her clients or patients. She has very limited resources, not resources, but very limited things that she can do as a physician, right? She can prescribe medicine. She can send you to physical therapy. She can send you to occupational therapy, but it's very limited, and it's a little frustrating for her because she believes in holistic health. And when I showed her these patches, she was like, this is exactly what we need. This is where we need to go in the future with healthcare. And to hear that from a neurologist was pretty amazing.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's another great tool in your toolbox. You know, anything you swallow or drink, it has to go through your body, through your system, through your liver, you know, and where this does not, these patches do not have that impact on your body in that way. It's not filtering and trying to decide where it needs to go in your body and all this and that. So, you know, I'm not a doctor. Candace is not a doctor. We're not giving medical advice, but we know.
I don't even put it on TV.
Yeah, right. So, but yeah, just knowing that through the coding and I mentioned an app a while ago. Somebody asked me one day, well, do I need an app to does this communicate with an app? No, it does not. It does not communicate with an app. This is strictly, we call it a technology, but it is not a technology in the sense that it has to send signals to an app to tell you anything. No, we're not.
Signals to your skin, and your skin is sending those signals to your brain.
Yep. So, like Candace said, we have 11 different patches for different concerns, from pain and sleep, focus, attention. If you're depressed or feeling kind of bluesy and you just need a little pick-me-up, we have a patch called Joy. We have a patch called Peace if you've got some anxiety going on. And, you know, and I personally wear 3 patches every day that I make sure the patches are actually good for 24 hours. So when I take my shower, I take everything off, all the patches that I have on. Sometimes I end up in the shower and go, oh, I forgot about that one. You know, peel it off. You know, take my shower.
I had one back here on my shoulder for 2 days that I'd forgotten I put there. I was like, when did I put that there?
Right.
It worked so well, I forgot about it.
So anyway, and then once I dry off and my skin's dry, I'll put them back on, kind of change around the location because you don't want to constantly be hitting the same part of skin every day. So, they're easy to peel on, peel off, and they're not going to hurt your skin or anything like that. But anyway, I wear the Flow patch, I wear the Defend patch, which is for immune system, and Liberty patch. So those are my 3 go-to, and I'm planning on wearing them for as long as forever.
So
So,
what I wear?
which ones?
I wear Victory. It's a little bit of an upgrade to the Liberty. Victory it's designed for athletes for recovery after after you do something strenuous, but it also has it helps with neuropathy. So, and it is relief from neuropathy. Relief is one of the listed benefits of this patch, and it really does help. I used to get shooting pains in my leg, so it felt like somebody was poking me with a hot poker stick.
Yeah.
And it was neuropathy, and I don't get it anymore. And the other really weird thing that I used to have constantly for years, I had this. It felt like I had an ear infection every day for years, and it was neuropathy. It was the neurons in my ears. The nerves in my ears were not doing the thing that they were, and it doesn't hurt anymore. My ear doesn't hurt anymore. So that's the Victory patch. And then I wear Flow and Defend, and the other one I wear is Ignite because it increases your resting metabolism rate by 25%.
Yep.
And I literally am not dieting on purpose because I want to see if this really works, and it really does work. I have been losing weight without dieting, wearing the Ignite patch. So, but eventually I need to actually start doing some activities and actually tracking my food. But I just wanted to see if it worked.
Right.
So without changing anything, I have lost weight.
Right. And sometimes it's not always a number on the scale. It's like, can you button your pants easier? Maybe you're losing a little bit and you don't really realize it, but your body is making the composition is changing, in your body. Although your weight might stay the same, maybe it's turning more into muscle, but you're losing in certain places, and that Ignite patch can help with that. Even if you don't see a drastic drop on the scale, it's definitely, aiding and helping your body to.
It's helping your body burn more calories. I want to tell a story about my husband because I think it's funny. When I first got the patches, he had the back of his heel was bothering him, and he was limping around the house. And I have an office upstairs, and he has an office downstairs, so we don't really see each other that often. I mean, we're in the same house, but we don't really see each other a lot. So he was limping around and complaining about it. So I told him to put a Freedom patch. Freedom is our version of Advil. If you have a minor ache and pain, you got a headache, something hurts, you put a Freedom patch on it, and it should make the pain go away.
Mm-hmm.
So I gave him a Freedom patch, and then I went back upstairs to my office, and a few hours later, I came back downstairs, and I said, well, how's your foot feeling? He's all, nah. And then he got up and walked to the kitchen, and he was not limping.
Wow.
So he didn't notice that it didn't hurt anymore, but he wasn't limping anymore. Right. So sometimes it's really just subtle.
It is. Yeah. But subtle is good, and, I trust it. And I just want to thank Candace for coming on here today. I know we've kind of gone for a little while, but I wanted to share. I haven't shared much over the last couple of weeks. I've had some stuff going on myself, doing some traveling and things with my family. So it's been on my mind. It's like I wanted to get Candace on here to share her experience with these patches, and just to make people aware of it. And so anyway, if you do have a question about these, if you want to private message me or Candace, we will be glad to provide further information, more detail about the individual patches that we offer. And like Candace said, the company offers the first order, they want you to try it. So you're going to pay what Candace and I pay for it, because we signed up as associates, which was a very easy thing to do, and it wasn't hard to do. And so we signed up and started sharing it, but you're going to pay what we pay for our patches. And it's a great deal. And then if you want to continue to get a discount, we could share with you how to do that. But it's a very generous company. They opened in Europe now. They're in the UK. just had a big grand opening in Germany, I think, this past week. So it's going to be a worldwide company. They've hired on people in the sports field, in the health and fitness field, and other kind of social media type influencers, but people that really, they're not going to put their name behind a company and ruin their reputation. You know, they trust this company. They trust Jay, the man that started it, and they know these patches work and can help people. And it's a non-pharmaceutical, non-medicinal way, non-supplement way of helping people get results that they want. So, Candace, I thank you. I appreciate you.
Before we wrap up, I just want to say that you and I have 347 mutual friends. So there's 347 people out there who know how much fun you and I can have together. And don't you want to come have fun with us? Exactly.
Yeah. It's not work, you know, it's not work. I don't think of it as work. I don't think of it as, and, you know, someone's like, no, it's not for me. That's fine. You know, I'm not going to try and convince you otherwise. I wish you would give it an opportunity to see. But hey, you know, there's a lot of people out there wearing them, and we have a testimonial page that you can go to. You can ask me, say, Joy, add me to that testimony page. I'd like to look up my symptoms and search and see if other people have had results using whatever patch for certain things. And because everybody has a little bit different issue, you know, so but anyway, Candace shared her experience with it and what she's been dealing with for the last, you know, since 2014, and her ongoing cancer treatments, and how this kind of takes the edge off for her. And so what a blessing that is. So, but thank you, Candace. I appreciate you. I love you. And I appreciate you coming on and spending some time this afternoon and sharing with me and anyone else that's tuned in today and maybe will tune in here in the future to watch this video.
It was fun. It was good to see you.
You too.
We talk all the time, but we don't see each other often. Yeah. So it was great to see you.
Great to see you, and have a great weekend, everyone. And shoot us a question. We'll be glad to answer it. Okay. Thanks so much. Okay. All right. Bye-bye. Thank you, Jackie.